For 20 years, Jacob, the cunning schemer, served his uncle Laban. He accumulated wealth, wives, and children, everything he thought he needed to secure his future. But the wealth was hollow, bought with more deceit. Now he was returning home, and the ghost of his past, his betrayed brother Esau, was waiting. The greatest trial of a man's life is often not found in facing strangers, but in facing the person he wronged. Jacob knew he couldn't scheme his way out of this meeting. He had to be broken before he could be blessed. This is the night Jacob stopped being the heel grabber and became Israel, the terror of the past. Jacob had sent messengers ahead to meet Esau, who was now a powerful man with 400 men at his side. The report returned was simple and terrifying. Esau was coming to meet him. Jacob divided his camp into 2 bands. It was a calculated risk, a plan born of his old manipulative nature. If Esau attacked one group, the other might escape. But Jacob knew no amount of human planning could save him from the confrontation. He truly feared the one in his own heart. He spent the evening praying, admitting his unworthiness. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth, which thou hast shewed unto thy servant. That night, after he had sent his wives, children, and possessions across the ford of the Jabbok, Jacob remained alone on the river bank. He stood, listening to the rushing water, waiting for the dawn that would bring Esau and perhaps his death. The struggle. Suddenly, a figure appeared out of the darkness, solid, aggressive, and entirely unexpected. The figure attacked. It was not a robbery. It was a wrestle. Jacob, strong and hardened by years of strenuous labor, reacted instantly, locking into a desperate, primal struggle. They grappled for hours, rolling in the muddy bank, the sounds of their efforts muffled by the rushing river. This was no ordinary opponent. Jacob felt a superhuman strength, an impossibility in the man's grip, yet the struggle continued until the first signs of dawn began to paint the eastern sky. The realization hit Jacob like a thunderbolt. He was not wrestling with a man, but with the divine. The man who wrestled with him, seeing that he could not physically prevail, simply touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh. With an almost casual effort, the joint was instantly wrenched out of socket. Jacob cried out in pain, collapsing, but his arms remained locked around the figure. He was broken, crippled, but his grip of desperation was stronger than ever. The man spoke, his voice laced with the quiet authority of heaven. "Let me go, for the day breaketh." Jacob looked up at his opponent, now recognizing the shimmering, veiled glory of the one who had come down the ladder in his dream years before. He refused to release his hold. His pleading was raw, stripped of all human cunning. "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." This was Jacob's true surrender. He was no longer trying to seize the blessing. He was clinging to the source of the blessing, even while broken. The figure smiled a dazzling, sorrowful light and asked the question that would change everything. "What is thy name?" "Jacob," he answered the supplanter, the heel grabber, the deceiver. The voice declared the change. "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed." Jacob left the Jabbok alone, limping, but profoundly changed. He had faced the divine and lived. He named the place Peniel, the confrontation. Later that morning, Jacob saw the dust cloud on the horizon. Esau was coming with 400 men. Jacob, limping heavily upon his thigh, went out alone to meet him. He bowed low 7 times, ready to accept any punishment. Esau came rushing forward. He was a man of the open range, weathered, powerful, and intimidating. Jacob braced himself. But Esau did not draw a sword. He ran, and the hatred of 20 years melted into the memory of childhood. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. The trickster, the fugitive, was healed not by his cleverness, but by the grace he found at the river, which allowed him to face the man he wronged and receive unmerited forgiveness.